2 minutes after 8 o'clock. Good morning to you. Welcome to another Island Tea. I got my girl Candy here.
Good
and
morning.
It's Thursday, May 4.
Listen, I don't know about you, but I am extremely sleepy.
Well, I had a nap yesterday. What I noticed was I had a nap yesterday, so I went to sleep just before 12, and when I woke up, I was like, okay, the nap helped because.
Wow!
So
So you woke up at midnight and went back to sleep?
No, what time I woke up?
That would never work with me.
I think I woke up after 4 or something.
I went back to sleep?
No, but being like, then I went to bed at 11.
Oh my
11:40 or something. Like that.
No. So my
Well, when I
coffee
woke
is
up-
really strong this morning. I couldn't do tea. I needed like caffeine, like extra caffeine.
But when I woke up, I was like, boy, that nap really helped because normally, it was.
I stayed up doing articles and reading and doing work and avoiding clients that don't know their time. So I need the caffeine this morning. But I was reading this article and I know that we definitely need to speak about it because the whole coronation thing that's coming up and the whole talking about becoming a republic thing and all of that has the monarchy like in the hot seat recently. And was it you that sent me the article or Azard?
Yeah,
I know we
me.
had like a whole conversation about it, but I don't know who sent it.
It was me actually.
What are your thoughts on this Lord Ashcroft poll?
Well, first I have to say the two emails I sent you guys afterwards because the first story I saw was on SKN Times,
Right.
which to
Yes,
me
I
was,
saw that one.
which I thought was a kind of reductionist take.
Yes.
Okay, let's say not as detailed, right?
They wanted to keep it short and sweet.
Yeah. So, and then when I checked my email yesterday afternoon, I realized I get some news from a Caribbean news organization called Carib Wire or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that.
So then I saw there were 2 articles which went into more details. I said, okay, this is much better.
Yeah, because it breaks
And
it
then
down
that's why I sent you guys those. So I haven't even had time to read them yet.
Really?
So I'm gonna be reading them for the first time. But when I saw them, I said, let me send them out too. I sent them to the newsroom as well. I told them, I think I forwarded the same message about more context, more detail, more insight.
Azard and I had a quick chit chat about it. So I know he wants us to touch it this morning. And what are your thoughts? Just like reading the reductionist take according to you.
Oh, well, you would get the impression that we're all suffering from Stockholm syndrome. Trust me,
Right.
I know a significant amount of us are, but whether we know it or not, whether
Right.
we're actively running with it or not, a lot of us are to some degree.
As soon as I saw the heading, I was like, what?
So I was like, really?
Yes.
I sent it to a particular person, and their answer was nonsense.
Thank you.
A nice one-word answer,
Yeah.
not one-word
Yeah.
nonsense.
Because like I saw it and I was like, like stuck my teeth, move on.
Yeah.
Then I was like, but
So,
wait,
but
who did they actually interview?
Well, I mean, you see, and this is the thing. This also speaks to the Stockholm syndrome as well, because we see Lord Ashcroft, right? We assume it's a professional, thorough, scientific, rigorous survey, which is not to say it's not, but I'm just saying when we hear
The Lord part?
or someone from one of the bigger countries, we associate them with professionalism and thoroughness.
Let me tell you who Lord Ashcroft is.
Yeah.
He is an international businessman, philanthropist, pollster, and author. He is a former deputy chairman of the UK Conservative Party and honorary chairman of the International Democratic Union. His recent political books include Going for Broke, The Rise of Rishi Sunak, interesting, First Lady, Intrigue at the Court of Carrie and Boris Johnson, and Red Knight, the unauthorized biography of Sir Keir Starmer. First of all, from the time you have, right,
that's a guy for Scotland, I think.
right.
Yeah.
But my thing is, from the time you hear Lord, I'm already like, this about to be biased. Because why are you still carrying the Lord title if you're not in support of the monarchy.
But granted, the two articles, the two articles I sent actually makes it a little, maybe I shouldn't say balance, but a little
Bearable?
more. No, meaning it gives you more to process, and yeah, so it is more balanced and probably more closer to the truth, rather than this thing that was sent out, which
This
gave the
thing.
impression that most of us want to remain in the Commonwealth cage.
I know.
You know?
What are your thoughts, Mr. Gumbs? Looking spiffy this morning.
Well, AZ, what's up?
Good morning to everyone.
Uh-huh.
Let me say a pleasant morning to all of those listening to the program this morning. In fact,
Go ahead.
okay.
What's happening?
So, this morning, so we're looking at the results of the poll. And I must say that I'm a bit surprised at the results of the poll when I saw it. I thought to myself, as I'm sure many persons would have thought as well, is who are really these persons who are being interviewed
But
by
actually,
the poll stuff?
before we go any further, let me just read the head of at least the first article we got, and then so that people know, because some people are like, what are they talking about? Where is it? Where is it? I'm trying to find it. What is going on? Okay, here we go. Yes, so this was a news report that came out first. Lord Ashcroft poll, new coronation poll finds lead to stay with the crown in St. Kitts and Nevis if the referendum was held now. That's what they're saying. But then, like I said, subsequently, I discovered some more in-depth articles in my email, which probably definitely give some more detail and insight and context. So despite their referendum votes, majorities in Antigua, 55%, and Jamaica, 62%, agreed that the monarchy meant they had more stability in their country than they would have without it. With the exception of the Bahamas, majorities in all countries polled in the region agreed that the king can unite everyone, no matter who they voted for, and that the royal family cares a lot about their particular country. Maybe we can take turns reading it. Oh,
I think Azard wanted to comment about the actual poll, and who was interviewed, because I had that same thought. I was like, but when was this conducted, and who did they interview? So I'm not sure.
okay. We seem as though we haven't issued one of the cameras, but let's go ahead. It's a radio station after all. Let's not worrying about cameras. Okay, so I was saying, this poll,
Continue, so I'm coming back.
yeah, this poll is, let me see if I can, okay, St. Kitts and Nevis would vote to remain with the crown in a referendum if held now, according to new research from Lord Ashcroft polls. 5 other countries in the Caribbean region where King Charles is head of state would choose to remain constitutional monarchies.
Right.
Findings from the survey said that in St. Kitts and Nevis, 52% would support remaining with the monarchy, while 45% would vote to become a republic. Poll findings also included more said they would vote to remain a constitutional monarchy than to become a republic in Belize by 48% to 43%, Grenada by 56% to 42%, St. Lucia by 56% to 39%, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines by 63% to 34%. More than 75% of pro-republic voters in all 8 Caribbean countries polled in the region said that becoming a republic would bring real practical benefits. The remainder said that the monarchy was wrong in principle and should be replaced whether there were practical benefits or not.
But this was done this year, right?
Yeah. What would be interesting is if we can get some callers of people who actually spoke to any pollster about this poll. How is it?
I didn't even know it was being conducted.
Yeah, there are always these polls, but somehow you never seem to know anyone who took these polls.
But who commissioned it? Like, I'm scrolling all through the article to find out, like,
Yeah.
is this Charles's doing?
Charles? Who's Charles?
The king.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think
You're like, who, Charles?
no. You see, you just show you what we think of him, right?
I know.
You know.
Yeah. I'm
If you
not a
said-
fan. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not a
I'm
fan.
not a fan of either any of them, but hey, that's just me. So I mean, the thing is, right? The thing is, I think there's a lot of ego tied up in this monarchy, in the sense that I feel, based on some articles I've read, right? I think that on some level, Charles is a little peeved that now that he's become king, all these countries want to peel off.
And
I mean,
his mother was hanging on by a thread.
Yes. And now he's basically going to be the catalyst, I think. He's
Yes.
basically going to be the catalyst for everybody else to leave.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Right. And being having his queen consort at his side is not necessarily for women who feel like the wife was cheated on and you guys wrecked a marriage and damaged kids. She's not doing him any favors. I was totally for Princess Di. I loved her. I loved the causes. I love the fact that she broke barriers. She made the monarchy seem more in touch with people and their emotions.
human, yeah.
Yes, right. And so I was a big fan. I remember clear as day the night she died. I was up watching TV and I couldn't believe it. I was like, what?
Yeah, me too.
So
It was
I'm
like
not,
after
I'm not a
7
fan
in the
of
night or
Camilla.
something like that?
It was actually later because I think it was like after 11. So everybody else was in bed,
Yeah.
but I couldn't sleep. So I was up looking at television. And I remember, I think I was in fourth form.
Okay, let's take a call. Oh, person hung up. Let's hope they call back. I hope you're someone who actually spoke to a pollster.
Right? That would be great. Yeah, so I've never been a fan of Camilla, so it's never gonna work for me. I can't see myself supporting them. And then this book that his son Harry brought out that highlighted all these other issues. Yeah, Harry's wife is black, so yeah, I definitely have a problem with.
And you realize they go ham on Meghan way more
Let me tell
than
you.
they do on Prince Edward. It's Edward, right? Or Andrew? I always get
Andrew,
mixed up.
Andrew.
Yeah, I always get mixed up. Yeah.
They let him just run amok.
Yeah,
Because
and-
look at that whole Jeffrey Epstein thing.
Exactly.
Right? And William's hands is not clean, neither is his wife. And I just felt like that was, for me, that was the final nail in the coffin when I saw the way they were treating Meghan. I'm like, wait, because I absolutely loved her as Rachel on Suits. And then she's a black woman. So, hey, yeah.
Yeah. I'm
So-
backing everybody black.
I
Straight up.
really couldn't deal with it. I was
Straight
like,
up.
this is just ridiculous. And yeah, your time has expired. Just go. Just please go.
So the
it
first
would be
article.
great to hear
yeah.
who they interviewed.
The first Carib News Wire article goes as the headline is Lord Ashcroft polls. New coronation poll finds. Okay, so that's the one we read. But the other one I thought provided more context. The other one was
The one with
highlighted the-
figures?
Hmm?
The one with figures?
Yeah. The second one is the one that has let's see where is it? Okay, so it should be somewhere here. Let's see.
Well, we all know that King Charles, his coronation is on the 6th of May this year. And so he takes over from his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. He has long been waiting for this opportunity, Queen Elizabeth II being the longest serving monarch for England during her lifetime and during the lifetime of others, having served in excess of 70 years. And so I know that there is a lot of fanfare and jubilation as it relates to the coronation of the king. We understand recently that there has been a poll done, and just yesterday that poll was in circulation. Of course, we welcome callers. What are the views of the callers as relates to the results that have been published? We know that some persons have been speaking about St. Kitts and Nevis, becoming a republic. Is it that it is just a view that the minority has, or is it a view that the majority has? Do you think that the time is right for us to have those discussions, especially as we consider that we are now embarking on our 40th anniversary of independence?
Let's take a call. Caller, go right ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sorry, I was not polled, but I'm not surprised at the results of such a poll. I would venture a guess that it would mirror the same attitude to the CCJ, mainly because we do not trust our systems to deliver things like justice and security. Okay, we look, for instance, at how the large powers had resources to get their citizens out of harm's way in the Sudan. If we were stranded there, we would probably have to rely on the good offices of our ex-colonial power, right? And so there's comfort, I think, in knowing that you're connected to someone bigger who would have your back. Okay?
Supposedly.
Well, yes, that is true. But those of us who are members, those countries that are members of the Commonwealth, would suggest that there is at least some role in keeping that organization, alive. Okay, it has a tempering effect, so to speak. Otherwise, we may just be gobbled up by the bigger fish, so to speak. And when it comes to, yes, we talk a lot about becoming a republic, but you look at our representation at the coronation. I would have thought that our representation would have been, yes, nice and polite. Sure, we should be represented, but I thought that this looked very high-powered, high-level, right? When you look at who's in the entourage that's going up, right? I don't know if you're outside, but it includes our Prime Minister, Premier of Nevis.
Yes.
Certainly the Governor Generals and the Deputy Governor General, etc. I would expect that they would have attended being representative of the Queen, of the monarchy.
Right.
But it also included other people. And so it was more than just polite representation, and it begs the question as to whether or not, yes, we speak about it, but are we prepared to take the necessary steps to get out of the monarchy, so to speak,
right.
To cut strings with the monarchy. And that is left to be seen. And this poll certainly is instructive. It sounded as if you all were suggesting that questioning not only the validity, but whether or not, the motives generally, if such a poll was indeed conducted, right? That's how it sounded to me.
It's always shady when you hear polls. You hear polls, and then sometimes you hear pretty significant sample sizes, and you're like, I don't know anyone who was in that sample.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying it might just be propaganda. Well, perhaps.
I don't think so.
I don't think they'd go that far, but I'm curious as to when it was conducted and who was questioned.
And who, yes.
But generally speaking, the person that commissions the poll, they commission it to look for favorable results, right? So who paid for the poll?
Yeah, as again, I don't think
favorable for who?
What's important, its importance to us at this stage. So yes, I think the questions are valid, but I am not sure that really and truly, as much as we speak about it, as much as emotionally we want to be detached from our ex-colonizer.
Right.
We're not at the point where we feel confident enough that what is going to replace what we have now is going to be is definitely going to be better.
I think you might be right. You know, like in concept, you know, thinking about it is like, yeah, we want to be republic. We want to rely on ourselves. We're grown. You know, think it is going to be, 40 this year. So everybody's like, yeah, I think we're old enough to step out and leave the nest, right?
Right.
But
it's fashionable. It's fashionable
right.
to think that way. And just like in real life, you know, the younger folks would, of course, be braggadocious, wanting to get rid of the appearance, support, and so on,
right.
And reliance on them.
Are you characterizing? Wait. Are you characterizing them as our parents? Really now?
Characterizing.
Yeah, are you characterizing the colonizers as our parents?
No. I'm saying just
checking.
Just like most young people are really anxious to get rid of being under the wing of the appearance. You know, they turn 20 and so on, and you know they want their own life.
But
so
Mr.
to speak.
Mahan, let me ask you a question, because you're liking it to parenthood and children. What significance, and this is a question, objective question, what significance, what do we benefit? What benefit arises from the arrangement that we currently have?
Well, I just mentioned one of them.
And say that
if you
again.
were stranded in Sudan, where would you go?
How would you get out?
We don't have any relations with them over there. We can't send a boat over there or a plane over there. Where would you go? If you're stranded or in trouble in a foreign country, a distant country, where we have no embassy or anything like that, what would you do?
But are you saying?
Wouldn't you go to at least somebody who you know you?
But I mean,
like,
at the same
British embassy,
but at the same
or an
time,
American embassy.
At the same time, I don't know that it is true to say that if you become a republic, that those opportunities won't be there presenting itself if you have diplomatic relations with the state.
And that is exactly what I'm saying.
But it's just a hypothetical situation.
The comparison, right? When things get tough, sure, you want to get away and be dependent. But when things get tough, you know where you can go to get at least some kind of support. So you run back there.
Supposedly.
Wait. Before I am still a bit.
This is an all too convenient analogy for him
but
scenario for him to use, though.
No, I'm saying. So you're saying if someone in Barbados is trapped in Sudan, that there's an embassy, there with the UK, that if it is that they won't be able to be offered some sort of assistance even by diplomatic relations. I don't. That's what you're saying.
And he's saying.
I'm saying.
The likelihood.
I'm saying that because of our ties, that's where we go. We wouldn't go to the Russian embassy or the Chinese embassy. We'd go to the British embassy. I mean, anybody, for one thing, there's the language, and other things as well. There was a relationship, and there's good relations now.
So you're saying if you're a republic, there won't be good relations?
Yeah, all of a sudden they're gonna treat us like chopped.
They certainly would not feel
liver?
obliged based on past relationships to help. That's the whole point.
I don't think I agree with you on that
look at how
point.
they screened. It wasn't anybody could get out of Sudan, you know. They were screening people as they took them on the planes and the boats to make sure they were U.S. citizens or British citizens. They weren't just taking anybody in trouble.
That is an interesting point. But then it still does not say that if you are a republic and you have declared your sovereignty and your own statehood, you're no longer under their umbrella, that
we've
they'll leave you
declared
stranded there.
So
declared our
they're going to
sovereignty.
sulk? They're going to sulk and turn us away?
We've declared our own sovereignty.
But
Then we
of
became
course not, but
independent.
You say you're independent of them. You can't eat your cake and still have it, you know. That's what it sounds like you want to do.
Fair
Right?
point,
No,
but
but you're setting up a false choice.
That are convenient.
You're saying that
but
just by
you
dint
retain
of us
those-
being a republic, that all of a sudden, if we get stuck in Sudan or some other s-hole, as what is his name would call it, that suddenly no one would. I'm not buying that.
to be perfectly
You-
honest,
you
right?
don't think
Even
so?
the U.S.
You
and the
don't
British
think
had
that-
issues
that-
getting their
You don't think that
citizens
the
out.
UK would look at us differently if we decided to become a republic?
Well, that's on them, not us.
But the thing is, there is a responsibility, right? That, you know, if you can help, you will help. Because look at when the U.S. evacuated Afghanistan. They took quite a number of Afghanis with them. And then with this current Sudan situation, even the U.S. and the British had issues getting their citizens out. So it's not a case of, I think the analogy is a little bit flawed.
But
What
Mr.
I'm
Ma-
saying is
Mr.
they're under no
McMahon,
obligation
Mr.
to
McMahon,
help us, and at least they are gonna make sure their citizens are taken
Mr.
care of
McMahon,
before anybody else.
even if we
still won't be
but
considered as their citizens
we are not
immediately.
citizens of Britain.
Exactly.
We are citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, and also we would still
We're
be.
part of the Commonwealth.
We are still part of the. Even if we were to gain republic status, we would still be part of the Commonwealth, because if you look at the Commonwealth of Nations, which has 53 countries, Trinidad and Tobago forms part of the Commonwealth, Barbados forms part of the Commonwealth, and these countries are republic. Dominica forms part of the Commonwealth, and it's still a republic. So
And Guyana.
And Guyana. So I cannot say that I would agree that just becoming a republic that we would
We would lose we would lose some privileges. I mean, and membership has its privileges. You know, that's just in other words, we'll be ranked. There's no question.
I don't agree.
That we'll be ranked.
I don't
right?
agree with that. I
You
don't
think
agree.
so?
I don't agree with that,
You,
because
you really don't think so?
we have
We'll be ranked, but how far down? What number will we be ranked at?
Right. Well, the fact is,
So there's
we
still
would
no
be ranked.
guarantee that we would
And
be able
not-
to get out.
No, listen,
Okay, guys.
listen.
If right now we can go to the Privy Council, that itself is a relationship.
But we can,
Okay, I
Mr.
don't agree
McMahon,
with it.
Mr.
Is that
McMahon,
something we
understand
really
those
want to? Is
people.
that something we want to
Mr.
boast about?
McMahon,
Really?
even if we were to become a republic, we still have we would still have obligations with the Privy Council, because we have not removed it from as our final court of appeal. Again, Trinidad and Tobago still goes to the Privy Council as its final court of appeal, and they are a republic. So it's
Right.
not
so
a
you
situation.
maintain those kinds of links, right?
But
They
then that's
decide
it. You
to
can
maintain
be
those kind of-
republic
of
and
links.
still have
For
the
whatever
Privy
reason.
Council. But what are we getting from being
My point is, even if you become a republic, right, you still can be considered a member of the Commonwealth. So you still have that linkage and that heritage as a former colony of Britain, because we've seen Barbados is a republic, Trinidad is a republic, Guyana, Dominica is a republic, and they are members of the Commonwealth
The Commonwealth.
of Nations.
But it does represent a change in status when you
Okay,
decide
but-
to become
okay,
a
Mac,
republic.
Mac,
No question about
let's
that.
take-
And listen, I do believe it's better to cut those kinds of links. But while I was saying, as I did from the beginning, I can understand why some people are a bit reluctant to do so. That's the point.
Okay.
You know, there are practical reasons why they are reluctant to do so, and you can't really blame them from that. You have to try to encourage, convince, persuade, in order for us to move. As assuming the polls are right, that's saying basically that is what you have a lot of work to do still on changing,
Mac.
perceptions and so on.
Okay, we have to go to the next segment.
Yeah.
We're going to open the phone lines later on about this, clearly. It's 8:31. We got Point on the Streets coming up, but let's see if we can sneak in our commercial break and come back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
If you need insurance, I serve Insurance Company Limited, where you get more coverage for less.
Strapped for cash? Get Instacash. Payday late? Get Instacash. Have items new or used you don't need? Get cash for them at Instacash. We buy and sell quality new and used tools, electronics, jewelry, household items, and more. If you're strapped for cash, think Instacash. Sell an item for cash or buy an item. Ask about the convenient Instacash layaway plans and buyback options. Instacash is same-day cash, no credit checks, and guaranteed privacy. Get cash for your goods. Visit Instacash across from Caribbean Lotto in the Hosswoods Complex or call 465-0222 and 669-8390.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I coming Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of way. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, don't want to run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
This message is sponsored by the Australian Government, AusAid, and produced by NEMA in collaboration with WINNFM.
And we're back, and we're getting ready for Point on the Street with Vernon Springer at Point FM in Antigua, St. John's, Antigua. It's 8:34. And guys, we're looking at Vernon here.
He's
going to be coming to us very soon. Let's see what he's saying. So yeah, so Antigua, Barbuda.
Good morning, Jamster.
Hey, what's up? Oh, you're ready. Let's go. Nice you could join us.
Good morning.
What's up? Morning. Vernon.
Good morning. I just wanted to start off on a footnote, and welcome back. I hear a strange voice in the studio. So just,
must be Trent, huh?
We chatted you last week. I
oh,
asked
do
why you
tell.
weren't there, and everybody told me all sorts of things. I wouldn't tell you all what they said.
Don't trust what they say. I am alive and well and kicking.
If everyone could get chatted nice like that, then things would be nice.
I just wanted to use this banter, to ponder. Most people don't want to be part of the process. They just want to be part of the outcome. But the process is where you figure out who is being part of the outcome. So welcome back. Jamster Azard?
Yes.
How are you doing
How
today?
are you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys doing today?
We are well. Just yesterday we had a very fruitful discussion. We had many callers, Vernon, as it relates to the Africans, the Cameroons, who would have escaped Antigua and via sea made their way, about the tragedy and the rescue here in our waters, and the statement of the Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister in saying that, that they're not welcome back in Antigua and Barbuda. So we had a lot of persons from St. Kitts and Nevis who called in who were a bit disappointed with that statement.
Somebody actually mentioned him too.
Yes.
Yeah, they said they would listen today to hear his view on it. So Vernon, they were anxiously waiting to hear your view on it.
My view? What is my view?
Well, you would have to tell us that.
I to be honest with you, I don't have a view on the whole situation because I find that in the Caribbean that we sometimes, hypocrisy is a big word. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We have a situation close to us taking place in Haiti, and I'm not hearing anybody calling out anybody concerning Haiti, and Haiti is supposed to be part of CARICOM. Mm-hmm. It's kind of just amazing and strange, but I'll save that one to them, idea. I'm really not in the frame of mind really to be going backward and forward with this hearsay and naysay. I just feel it's a very unfortunate
But
situation.
statements were made, so it's not hearsay. They were article.
Well, did you hear the statements, Azard?
I read the article, so therefore.
Oh, you read the article.
Perhaps the article is incorrect. Then I read it from Loop News.
I'm only just saying, Azard, right? If you heard the statement, then you can go by that. Because not everything that you read is the truth, right, Azard? So be careful. And I know you're a lawyer.
I am a lawyer, but I mean, I'm just relating what I would have read on Loop News.
I understand.
So this is not happening underground? Like there's not any murmurs, whisperings underground?
So I guess it never made...
There will always be murmurs. As you know, like I said to you, you weren't here last week when Azard made the point. The opposition, the United Progressive Party in Antigua and Barbuda, have been calling for an inquiry now. In fact, they were leading a petition on this entire matter. So, that has been something that has been ongoing for a long time, right? But you would also have to take into consideration that the folks left Antigua through maybe means of, Guadeloupe, however they were. I don't have all the details, Azard, so I can't give you.
That's fine.
How they left. Yeah.
It's an article that was published on the 30th of April by Loop News, and it says that Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Gaston Brown, has confirmed reports that migrants from Cameroon who were rescued from a recent boat disaster will not be allowed to re-enter the country. And it goes on to say, in quote, why bring them back when they are likely to smuggle out of the country again? And the article goes on to say, said Prime Minister in an article written in his own publication. So that is coming from Loop News. So again, it just was a hefty topic yesterday. We received a lot of discussion on it, and many persons hear their view.
And then Vernon, there's also this poll that just came out, which says that the majority of Antiguans are in favor of becoming a republic, along with what was the other country? I think it was Bahamas and Jamaica.
I also see that your poll in Sinket says that they want to stay.
Yes, Vernon. Yes.
But Antigua has been very popular in the news this week.
How come you guys didn't tell me that one?
I maybe Candy and Jamster were polled.
Oh no!
Nah.
We were getting to it. We wanted to get the elephant out of the room.
Yes,
and so we were going to get to that.
These polls, Azard?
Yes, we said that because there are thousands of persons. I think they were interviewed, but no one within our immediate circle. And I think it said also that they were done online again. So
interesting.
I know, it's quite interesting.
It's interesting, and again, I beg to ask the question. And again, these are my views. Of course, we have the views of the other persons who we would respect as well. What is it that we benefit as remaining under the monarch?
Somebody just asked me that. What are the privileges?
What are the major benefits? What is it that we are getting that Trinidad and Tobago is not getting? What is it that we are getting that Barbados
isn't getting, that Guyana isn't getting,
Guyana or even Dominica? Again,
but in fairness, Azad, until we have a united CARICOM, we will continue to be asking these questions, because whether we like it or not, right? We can't fight those countries individually, and so we'll be asking ourselves all these questions all the time. And at some point in time, we have to rely on these big countries. So as much as we want to think that we are independent, sometimes I don't feel that we are independent, because we don't really act that way. We have a lot of insularity that is taking place also in the Caribbean, which is also plaguing us.
Talk about hitting the head on
not to be united.
But Vernon, I understand that there are some shortcomings as it relates to CARICOM, but I do not see both of them in connection with the other, because we have Barbados, who's a member of CARICOM. We have Barbados. We have Guyana. We have Trinidad and Tobago. We have Dominica, and yet they seem to be doing quite fine. I mean, these are my opinions, and I know everyone will have their own opinions, and we have to respect those views. But again, the question
It
still
depends on what you
stands.
call fine.
Say again. So
Depends on-
Well,
it
you know,
depends on
of
what-
course, that's subjective. But it's funny that you mentioned CARICOM, because we had a whole conversation about CARICOM and the OECS just yesterday, right? And so it depends on what you're looking to gain. It depends on what you set as your goals and your ideas and how you rate doing fine. But there still is much to be said about being independent, acting independent, and then becoming a republic. We all have, so what are some of the privileges that we get from, still being under the monarchy?
That's interesting.
Silence.
It depends. And like I'm saying, let me make some. Let me. 2 weeks ago, I think I raised this discussion with you guys, right? St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua and Barbuda are deemed as high-income countries, right? Why? Because of the Citizen by Investment Unit program. And even though we would have countries like Dominica and St. Lucia who would also have that sort of program, they are maybe not in the caliber and targeted like St. Kitts and Nevis and Antigua and Barbuda. And for particular reasons, we know why, right? Because the policemen of the world, we know who the policemen of the world are. They're the ones who call the shots, and they're the ones who would want to crack down on the small island states like Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, and maybe most countries in the OECS. There's also another myth where you have the OECS, which is standing firm. You have the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the EC dollar, which is holding its own for a very, very, very long time. And then you have a situation where Jamaica has its own currency, Ghana has its own currency, Trinidad and Tobago has its own currency, Barbados has its own currency. And it had a point in time where Barbados wanted to join the OECS. Have we ever tried to figure out why Barbados wanted to join the OECS?
But Vernon, you're making those points, but I am still not seeing the connection between those points and having the monarch still here. Because
But the monarch is bigger than us, Azard. Whether we like it or not, I'm just saying to you, all of the things that we're talking about are still bigger than us. It's a world problem. We just can't just jump up and say,
no, but the points,
moving from one
that
point
you're
to the next.
making, the points that you're making, and the points that you're making, to me, has no connection with the
Oh, you don't feel
with
so?
the retention, because Dominica, right, is a part of the OECS. Dominica has the Eastern Caribbean dollar. Dominica is a republic.
They're
You
part
understand?
of Commonwealth as well.
And they're part of the Commonwealth. Even though you become a republic, you still have Commonwealth membership status if you want it. So even if you're a republic, Barbados, member of the Commonwealth, Barbados, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, Dominica. I'm going to use those because those are the four that we are familiar with in the Caribbean very often and popular. And Dominica, if you're going to use the example, Dominica is a part of the OECS. Dominica has the same Eastern Caribbean dollar. Dominica has a president. So again, based on the point that you have made, I don't see the correlation for the retention. But, I mean, maybe other persons might see it.
No,
Right.
because... Oh, go ahead.
Let's
go
don't
ahead.
dwell on the point anymore. Let me tell you what's happening in Antigua and Barbuda, because we got greater issues around that we need to deal with. And I know that there's a water crisis around the entire world. And I can just give you an idea in terms of what is happening in Antigua and Barbuda. The cabinet would have met yesterday, and the Minister of Public Utilities, Antigua and Barbuda, is expected to up their intake of water from 7 million to 9 million gallons each day in a few weeks. That's a process. I also see in St. Kitts and Nevis that they're also trying to see if they can address the water situation. And the water situation is just not only affecting us around here, but it's affecting also the entire Caribbean, because even in Jamaica, they're also having challenges when it comes in terms of water in certain aspects of the communities. So this is something which I think we seriously have to address. We also have to know that the hurricane season is approaching us, and there's also going to be a tough year based on what we've seen with the heat so
Yes.
far and drought.
Yes, that's true. Vernon, I see that the government of Antigua says that it has agreed to the terms of a joint initiative to boost LIAT.
Yeah. And they're in discussion with, I think, an African airline or company.
Africa's largest private carrier, Air Peace. Yes. So they're going to use that collaboration to boost investments in LIAT. You want to shed some light on that?
Well, that's an ongoing conversation which is taking place, and as you rightly know, I think also there's another major problem. I'm glad that you've gone down that road. It is becoming increasingly expensive to travel to the Caribbean. I mean, even to just get from Barbados to Antigua, you almost like you have to go to Miami, or to be able to get from point A to point B. And I sometimes try to wonder how are we dealing with this challenge. Azard, maybe you guys can tell me what is going to be how are folks going to get to St. Kitts for the St. Kitts Music Festival?
Well, we have inter-Caribbean airlines.
I mean, we have airlines. Just yesterday, a lot of persons were saying that, the American Airlines flights are pretty booked.
Sold out.
And I know, looking at flights during that time, the music festival coming into St. Kitts, the prices are pretty hefty right now.
They actually added 2 flights and the flights are full. So
they're trying to get
have to add more. That's crazy.
The chairman actually said that when he visited.
We are having, people are coming to St. Kitts and Nevis for our 25th.
By any means necessary.
Music festival.
But Vernon, what could possibly go wrong with this Africa connection again? I mean, we had these people.
I didn't want to say it, but
I'm not a technocrat, Jamster, so I can't tell you what the arrangement will be when the time.
Okay, Gaston. I mean Vernon. Sorry, Vernon. Sorry.
When the details come out, Jamster, I will publicly share.
And Vernon, and that is fair to you. You wouldn't have all the details now because you're not a part of that.
I wonder if his name is Jamster because he likes to jam people.
But Jamster is going down a road where he's talking about Africans, but he's not talking about the Americans. We taking
don't
all
start
our
him up.
money
No,
to the
don't start
Caribbean,
him up.
And we're giving American Airlines.
I love you too. I love you too.
But
this must be because they miss each other because this is crazy.
I think you not being here last week and here this week has created some sort of spur.
That's good.
Nevertheless, I think what has happened. Vernon, before you go on, I think what has happened though is a situation because we realized what happened just recently with the connection between Antigua and Barbuda and Africa. And we realize what has happened as a relation to that and the comments that have been made since then. I think that is why some persons are a bit
skeptical. Yeah,
and cautious when they see so close to the time, especially as we're still experiencing the spill-off effect from an arrangement that Antigua and Barbuda would have had here in St. Kitts and Nevis.
What is wrong with Africa, Azad?
I'm not saying something is wrong with Africa.
Oh, okay.
That's not what I'm getting from what he's saying either. I think, so the first issue is still alive and well and kicking. And St. Kitts is bearing the brunt of that because we are now stuck with some persons that had no intentions of even coming here. The country that they left Africa to go to doesn't want them. And now we're seeing that, again, there's a pairing with Africa. So you have to be, fair. And, people are going to question it. They're going to be like, again?
We're just hoping that all these steps and the checks and balances are put in place to ensure that there's no ill spill-off effects.
You guys do realize this is a dicey conversation for Springer to have, right?
Yeah, I know. So we're going to just allow him to
respond the way he wants to.
I'm not responding. I'm saying to you guys because I see that we're dwelling on something, and I'm saying they are bigger fish.
What
There's
could
a bigger
be bigger
fish
than airlines in the Caribbean? You just said that we're having issues with airlines, so that's why I brought up the airlines point because this seems to be a sort of relief.
Anyway,
right?
Vernon,
you will get some relief.
What other topic you want to discuss? We'll take you out to the hot.
Any carnival news? Any carnival news?
Well, let's be serious also because I see that also the cabinet also of Antigua and Barbuda examined the subject of youth violence.
But we are serious over here.
Yeah, well, it's something that we seriously have to address because you realize that there was an upsurge with crime in St. Lucia, in St. Vincent, and again he was moving around into the OECS, right?
But Vernon, I'm glad you brought that up. It's wider spread than that. Just yesterday in Serbia, a 13-year-old shot 8 persons. Yes, remember that?
Yes.
8 persons, I think, including a security guard. So it's wider spread than you think.
What do you think is causing? What do you think is causing this? Artificial intelligence?
I just feel like there has been a move away of some sort from core values, family values, and the fact that guns are so easily attainable, especially in the U.S. Yesterday there was a whole shutdown of a building in Atlanta because there was a shooter on the premise, right? So I just think that the easier it is to get guns, because yes, there's youth violence in this area, but it's not as big as or as prevalent as the gun violence in other countries, particularly the U.S., right? And now we see Serbia has joined with this.
There also was a shooting in Nevis.
Yes, last night. So, but I think even...
Where do you think these guns are coming from?
Well, that's a good question.
Let's examine this. Because there has to be a movement, why these guns are leaving from wherever they are being manufactured to come, whether it be to the Caribbean or to go all around the world.
Right.
Somebody's organizing this.
Well, in Serbia, they said it was leftover guns from when they had the war, when there was, the splitting of Serbia and Montenegro and all of that back in the day. It was a leftover of the guns, and that the guns were so easily attainable. But how are we getting them in sync kits? And that's a good question.
So, like I said to you, there has to be a movement of what we're seeing here throughout the entire Caribbean, because it can't be me and Azard organizing to get guns in Antigua or St. Kitts or St.
I'd be very disappointed
Lucia.
if it was. But what is the Antigua Parliament saying? You said they spoke about the gun violence, the violence in youth. What did they put forward?
Yes. Well, several institutions have been required to play leading roles, and it is important that I heard you talking about the social fabric. And they maybe feel that one of the ways to be able to tackle this would be to maybe improve on our communities with sporting activities that can keep the boys and girls out of the bedrooms, but more or less come back out onto the fields. Really, you know what I mean? We're always calling on the church communities,
right.
But I think we need to call on ourselves as a population if we really want to change the mindset. A lot of people are seeing, and a lot of people are not saying anything. A lot of people, there's just a minute group of people that are terrorizing most of the communities,
True.
But people are so afraid to talk for whatever particular reason. But how are we going to deal with it if we don't talk?
True. I know sporting definitely instills a level of discipline, and I guess it tuckers them out so they'll go home and sleep and not want to engage in other activities. But I do like the whole, the point that you just referred to. It's a small group, right? And I was listening to EK's show, Issues, and someone called in and they actually said, there are mothers who know what their children are doing.
Precisely.
There are mothers who will sit down. So a caller actually called in and said this. There are mothers who he knows have sat down on guns and said, no, when the police come, my child is not involved in that, right? So if they're benefiting from it, and it may be a spill off from poverty, right? If they're benefiting from the proceeds of crime, they're not going to be willing to give that up.
And
so
again,
we need to dig deeper.
You made an interesting point there, because
that is why the social reform programs in the respective communities are. We have to be honest with ourselves. If Azard is in charge of, let's say, a school, and the school has rules, why somebody can go to a politician or can go to someone else to overrule the decision that Azard would have made in a school? Because we have almost a breakdown of law and order. You have a lot of institutions trying to see if they could be able to curb this violence, and then you have other professionals somewhere along the road who are leaving a loophole open to allow these people to behave in a particular way.
Yeah,
and most of the youth violence is taking place in the schools. The teachers are being terrorized.
Yes.
These kids, these children, these boys and girls, the bullying per se folks are walking with their ammunitions. They're walking with their machetes. They're walking with their knives to school to have a showdown.
Yeah, and many times when teachers are trying to discipline students, you usually before, the story would be that you get licks twice.
Exactly.
From the teacher, and then
when you go home and
report it.
Exactly.
But now it's a situation where a lot of the parents are coming for the teachers who discipline their children, and of course we do know that there are some situations where children may be abused by a teacher. There are some situations, but in the majority said, sometimes even before getting the information clarified, the parents are coming for the teacher.
Yeah. Even the story in the U.S. with the little 6-year-old that shot the teacher. You know what the U.S. did? They charged the parents. And that is what we probably need to start doing.
They did that in Serbia too, actually.
Yeah.
The father was charged.
Because he was the one that had the gun.
Yeah.
And the gun was easily accessible to the 13-year-old. Maybe that is something that we need to look into. Charge the parents. Are you telling me you're not noticing changes in your child?
That's a good point.
It's a lot of work.
And
not just gun, not just along the lines of the gun, but
just general changes. They're becoming more secretive. They're telling
general
lies.
Behavior.
Yeah.
You must, as a parent, I'm sure, you must see where your child is deviating and becoming a potential menace.
Vernon, you want to take a call? We have a...
No, I think I only have 1 minute to go.
That's
just
true.
1 minute,
That's
okay.
to get ready for the cabinet press briefing. So I really want to thank you guys for linking up with us here, and we will continue the discussions on anything that we think that is important. But it's good to welcome back my last friend from last week. I hope you have a blessed weekend.
Thank you, Vernon. It's good to be missed. I will definitely try. I hope you have a good weekend too.
And
you have a good one.
Yeah,
God
we
bless you
actually
guys.
have Zeke coming up
Thank
next.
you.
Speaking on golf in St. Kitts, Vernon. So we'll
folks,
tell you about that next week.
It was our DGCL Crossroads link up with our colleagues in St. Kitts and Nevis, WINNFM 98.9. It now brings me to the end of Point on the Street, and just to let you know that coming up next.
Who's this song by again?
Found the sound 98.9.
Make Mother's Day sparkle with meaningful gifts from Pandora Jewelry. Celebrate your mom, grandma, friend, or sister with the perfect gift for everyone who loves like a mom. Shop Pandora Jewelry today.
Noble Jewelers, Port Sante, across from Rams Smoke and Booze. Call 466-2849.
Music's finest artists converge in Bastia from June 22nd to June 24th for the 25th hosting of the St. Kitts Music Festival. Hitting the festival main stage will be Skillybang, Chronix, Coffee, Byron Messiah, Anthony B, Governor, Romaine Virgo, TJ, Valiant. Them boy don't got nobody. Grandmasters, Collision Band, Small X Band, New Vibes Band International, Mr. Bagdal, Akayu Sweet, Preedy, Guess the Band, Ricardo Drew, Patrice Roberts, Skinny Fabulous, Nyla Blackman, Status. Erica Edwards, 313 Family, Gramps Morgan, Nitra B, Ear Supply, Dexter Daps, and Burner Boy. It's the 25th edition of the St. Kitts Music Festival from June 22nd to June 24th at Warner Park. An experience like no other. Tickets are now available at stkittsmusicfestival.com.
I know. See, look, he's jamming out too.
Okay, it's 1 minute after 9 o'clock, and we're now going to be talking golf in St. Kitts with Zeke. Zeke, what's up?
Good morning, sir. I'm good, giving
morning.
thanks. Morning.
Welcome.
It's nice to be here. It's one of my favorite shows, actually.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yay.
great. Yes.
How are you doing this
How are
morning?
you doing this morning?
I'm good. I'm giving thanks.
Awesome.
All right, and I see you're sporting your Royal St. Kitts Golf Club member shirts.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
So tell us what do we owe this pleasure this morning?
Just come to bring the public up to date with the St. Kitts Open, the upcoming Johnny Walker Sinkits Open, which will be played in this month, May the 26th to the 28th.
Oh, wow.
And also a little update on the E-Zone Cup, that the finals will be played in Four Seasons Nevis on the 29th. So there will be 2 tournaments.
You guys are busy.
Yeah. There's always something about golf that, you know, you've seen that level of sophistication. It seems like a very sophisticated sport.
For me, I just think it's a lot of patience because,
you got it right.
You got to be walking all over the field chasing this one little ball.
Okay, see, continue the setup. Continue the setup for
Tell
the
us
activities.
what's
So
happening.
on the 26th of May is the Johnny Walker Sinkits Open. That the tournament runs from the 26th to the 28th.
Okay.
The 26th is the opening ceremony at the Royal Sinkits Golf Club, and the 2 days tournament is the 27th and the 28th. That's for the Sinkits Open. That's for the Johnny Walker Sinkits Open.
How many participants do we have?
Up to date, we're looking for 100. Normally we get like 150 and so forth, but over the past few years it's dropped off, mostly to flights. Getting to Sinkits is one of the problem. So hopefully with that flight out of that extra flight
From
that
Miami.
was from Miami and Barbados, that might help with our brothers and sisters from the Trinidad area.
Okay.
So we normally, like I said, get like 150, but we are looking for hopefully to get 100 this year. I know the bookings are going well.
That's great to know.
Yeah, the bookings are going well, so we hopefully will reach our target of 100.
Okay. And then there's an E-Zone one you mentioned?
And then the E-Zone one. The E-Zone is a tournament that we have. It's going on for the past 2 months, where you get points and so forth. And then the finals will be played at Four Seasons Nevis on October 29th, which is the Monday, which is the holiday. So while our visitors are here from the different islands, we also treat them to a day at the Four Seasons Nevis.
That's good. That's
Okay.
good.
Because I was going to say, I thought the E-Zone is not just local then.
No, we have a group from Antigua who will be joining us also.
Okay. And how's that going so far
That's going.
here?
It's going good so far. It's going good so far here. The points are very close. The defending champion, Cedric Jeffords, he's up in the top 3 again. So hopefully, but we'll see what happens.
How
to the
many
end.
participants do we have in the competition?
In the E-Zone?
Yeah.
In the E-Zone, we have, I think it's 18 from Sinkits and 10, Sinkits Nevis, and 10 from Antigua.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So are you part of it, or you
Yes.
just like, all
Oh.
right.
Yes.
So I'm hoping you're in the top 3.
Not yet.
All right. I like
But
that
will,
spirit.
But I will be.
Not yet.
But I will be. But the Sinkits Open, the Sinkits Open is the main key. That's more competitive.
Yes.
And we're getting most of the players coming here are coming for that, for the Johnny Walker Sinkits Open.
Okay.
Oh, so there's a golf club,
Yes,
right? How many members are part of this golf club?
Oh, I'll be honest with you, I don't know the exact number at the moment.
Estimate.
But I know we used to be like, it's probably around 75 to 100.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's active.
It
pretty
used to be
active.
more also, but then we fall off a lot, the COVID.
Yes.
A lot of our members were expats. And since the COVID, a lot of them drop off for whatever reasons and so forth.
Question, because you talk about the expat and you talk about the members, do you find that you have a lot of young persons as a part of the membership?
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough. And that's one of the things that we're trying to really push. Years ago, we had a beautiful junior program. So we had a lot of young golfers coming up and so forth. And they just fade away. So we need to get back on the drawing board and see how we could enhance our junior program, because we do have a junior program, but for me it's not sufficient.
What's the age group for the junior program?
From 8, we start from 8. But if somebody show up there at 5, 6, 7.
But how do you join? What are the requirements?
You contact the Royal Sinkits Golf Club, or on Saturdays. The kids are there on Saturdays from, I think it's 10 o'clock. So just take the kids over. And
So
they
you
sign
actually
up.
have kiddie clubs and so on?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. The golf club, the Royal Sinkers Golf Club, provide the clubs for the kids until they get to that adult age where they could afford or seek another set from somewhere.
Right.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I did not know that because I know that there was a junior arm of it because I think at least maybe 2-3 of the members, but I did not know that there was you could go in at a younger age and that.
Yes.
So are you guys doing like a membership drive or?
Yeah, we do. We like a few weeks ago was on another station, and we do the kiddies program. It's for the whole year. It's like $150 easy a year. But if we don't want to deprive anyone, so if some kid wants to play but the parents can't afford it, the $150 will be paid by some other member.
Okay, that's good.
And just for the benefit of the people who don't know some of the SKN golf achievements of Kititians, the stuff that's gone under the radar, just give them a little rundown.
It's go back, well, one of the better golfers we had from the Caribbean, in my mind and in a lot of people's mind, was the best around the Caribbean, was from St. Kitts, Jimmy Levine. He now moved to the US. And we also have AJ Norford from Tabernacle, Raymond Percival, who will be going for three-peat for the St. Kitts Open this year.
Wow.
But over the years, St. Kitts have dominated golf in the East Caribbean. As a matter of fact, we won the East Caribbean Championship 17 years on a trot.
That's good to know.
Oh wow, 17 years.
17 years on a trot. But we had good juniors coming up. We had Joel McEachran.
Yes, I know Joel. So that's who I actually know. We went to school
Denville
together.
Philip. He did mention that to me this morning.
Yes.
Because I invited him to the show, but because of work, he couldn't. And he said he wanted to come because his schoolmate does the show.
Yes. We went into school together.
So over the years, we have dominated golf in the East Caribbean. But we just need to go back to the drawing board and see what's need to be done different.
Okay then.
Awesome.
Well, it would be good to see the program, rejuvenated and us, putting out more persons out there. I like the fact that you said even if they're 5 and they have that type of an affinity to it, that you guys would take them on.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I guess for now I'm gonna keep my ears to the ground because I'm curious now, and I'd love to see the young, the kiddies golf. I'd love to see that in thing.
That'd be so interesting
the only time
to
I've
watch.
played golf was on a Wii.
So Jimmy doesn't play anymore?
I don't think he plays much. He's now living in New York, so he doesn't play as much as before. He was down here a few months ago, and he said he didn't play.
Okay.
And we only have one golf course, just to
Well,
clarify.
we have one in St. Kitts, we have one in Nevis. In the past, we attempted to build 3 different golf courses. One at Kittition Hill, one at
Christoph
Harbour, and one down at La Valley. So we there was attempt to build 3 more, which would be wonderful.
Right.
But for now, we only have the Royal St. Kitts golf course and the 4 Seasons in Nevis.
Okay.
Wow, interesting.
And of course, we know that the other one that we had to be supplanted because of the
bypass road.
the bypass road.
That was the 9-hole. That's where golf started in St. Kitts, the Golden Rock.
Wow.
You're getting a call.
But
you want to
this-
take?
go
Okay.
ahead.
You want to take a call?
Sure.
Lucy? Call or go right ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
So, Zeke. Yeah, a few years ago, I think this is something Candisie might like. A few years ago, I participated in Wine and Nine. Or 9 and Wine.
Yeah. Yes.
You remember that there was this tournament where you all paired for experienced golfers with newbies?
Yes.
I think that is something that you all need to look at bringing back. I mean, I did that. I enjoyed that. I'm trying to get back on the golf course. As you can see, I've been going on the range.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think I want to participate in some big tournament like the Open, of course. I'm far from that. So, but I think if you all can find ways in which to help, newbies, that would be good.
Yeah. And like you know, Carla, we always encourage newbies. One of the things we're doing this year in the St. Kitts Open, we will be having a spectators tent. So we're inviting the public to come on over on the Saturday and on the Sunday to look at the game and interact with all the players and so forth.
Okay.
So that's one of the drive we're doing this year, to get more people.
And maybe, okay, great. And what about some junior tournaments as well?
Yes, we
Are
need
you
to.
all, because I know, like, my daughter did golf for the summer camp last year, but she hasn't gotten a chance. I guess Saturdays are so packed. There's dance, there's lessons, and all of those things. So it has been very difficult for her to continue with golf.
Yeah.
Given the time it happens, and then her dance classes. So, is there any other option for youth who want to take part in golf?
Well, it's just last week I was at a meeting and golf came up, and the Minister of Tourism mentioned that we need to get it in the schools, which I think will be wonderful. We as a golf committee, been trying that for years to try and get it into the schools. I think that's where we need to go. When you look at around the different islands, that's where it is. It's in the schools. Because like you say, if someone can't make it on a Saturday, it means that they're out. Unless the parent's going to do a private lesson for them. So in the schools will be one of the things that we're going to really continue to push for, to get it in the schools. So people like your daughter could come on out during the week. But let me say this though. Let me say this, like for your daughter, for instance, with 25 and under, if you're 25 years in college or once you're in school, you could go to the golf course at any time.
Really?
Any time. And play. You could go to the driving range. You could there's a lot of clubs there for, like we say, kiddies clubs and beginners clubs, and go out to the driving range for free.
Okay.
For free. So you don't even have to be in the program. Once you're in school, whether it's college, university, 25 and under, you could go there. And you could get some golf clubs and some golf balls. The staff at the golf course, they're very generous. They understand the whole thing. So you go there, and they will give you the clubs and the balls. So tell her she could go there anytime.
Nice.
Anytime between the hours of 7 to 4.
Okay. All right. Well, before I close, just quickly, bring back the wine and.
Yes, I noted it.
Thank you, Carla. I agree.
Yes, I noted it. That was a good program there. I think that was organized by our then treasurer Sylvia Jones, and I think it went well. I actually went to one time in Nevis at Four Seasons, where they had like 100 ladies.
Of course, since you said wine, we're there.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is something that I noted that we will definitely try and bring back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Carla.
Yeah.
Right. So I like that. I like that you were able to bring out that, because I know for sure persons did not know that. Because I think for the majority of persons, like as I started out saying, it seems like such a sophisticated game that I think in the people's minds it's like, oh my God, that's an expensive sport. I cannot afford to get into it.
Yes.
So if you're 25 and under, you can actually go there 7 to 4 daily.
Daily and play.
And play.
Yeah, that's and like I said, the staff, they are very generous. Golf in St. Kitts, and it's funny because St. Kitts Nevis is the only place that juniors could go and play golf for free as the field, but yet we can't attract as much as the Trinidad, the Antigua have a beautiful program at the moment. So it's amazing. But we need to drive it, because a lot of people don't even know that they could go to the golf club, which is the with the restaurateurs and so forth. So that's one of the drive, because over the past year or two, we had some new golfers come on the stream, like Dr. Gilbert and Dexter Hazel and a few other guys. And they themselves said that they didn't even know that they could come to the golf club.
But Zeke, what I'm going to ask you now goes to the heart of you getting more uptake with golf. I mean, golf is seen as this elitist, exclusive, expensive sport. So how do you intend to combat that perception and get the numbers up? Because the expense part is not a perception; it is fact. But the other stuff, exclusive, rich people, white people type thing.
Inexpensive. There is no sports cheap.
Right.
Because you could get a set of golf clubs that last you for 20 years. A cricket bat can't. A football can't. So you'll have to buy sports. So all sports are expensive. In terms of, like I said before, also, there's this myth about rich man sport and this and that. I think a lot of people know Zeke, a Newtown boy, grew up in Connery. Parents couldn't even afford to send me to a private school, never mind a college. I'm now the president of the Royal Sinkers Golf Club. So it tells you that it doesn't matter what hurdles you have to jump. If you want to jump it, you will. So even though, yes, it's an expensive sport, and I said earlier, our members are very generous. Most of the people, if not all, in the 17 years I told you that we dominated golf in the East Caribbean, none of us parent, except maybe Joel McEachran, parent was any rich parent like Jimmy Levine. His parents come from Ponce Pasha. None of us had anything.
I hope Joel is hearing you because he's going to get you for this.
So it tells you that golfers are very generous. Very generous. You have Denville Phillip, you have A.J. Norford. A.J. Norford is the best golfer. Well, Raymond Percival, my brother, probably don't like this, but A.J. is the number one golfer. Well, he's in the better form right now. He's from Tabernacle. His parents knew nothing about golf. I was the first to play golf in my family.
Nice.
Then I had 3 other brothers join. All of us represented the Sinkits team.
Source can play?
No, Source. No, he's into music. He follow you.
I know that, but I'll just tease you. I'm kind of semi-teasing.
Yeah. So,
Master strikes again.
So even though it's yes,
We'll
it's
get
an
rid of
expensive
him.
sport. All golf, all sport is expensive, but there's ways to get around.
Do you guys have like scholarships
Yes.
for persons that want to?
Yes, and that's one of the things that we have to talk more about. There are more scholarships in golf than any other sport.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding.
All right, so tell us.
So young people out there,
Yes.
if you want,
You
get
mean like
the
universities and
opportunity.
so on?
Huh?
You mean like for universities and stuff?
Yes,
Really?
yes. Especially for black girls. Vashel Baywan went off on a scholarship. I want to believe that Joel McEachran did too. I'm not sure. But Vashel Baywan, she went
Yes,
off on one.
that's the other golfer that
Yeah.
I know. Her sister and I went to school as well.
There is 4, 5, or 6 of them leaving Antigua this year to go off on scholarships. There's a lot of scholarships into golf. That is one of the things that we as a new committee at the Royal Sinkers Golf Club going to explore more of going forward. Is getting more connect with the colleges and so forth to offer these scholarships. Just about 3 weeks ago, I got a call from a friend in the States who I knew. She's Antiguan. So she called me and she wanted to know if there's anybody here that will be interested, because she already give a lot to Antigua and she loves Sinkits, so she wants to get Sinkits involved. So there's a lot of scholarships in golf, more than any sport.
So maybe you should use that incentive as a way to get,
Yes.
maybe start, let's call it development, golf, maybe games on like
Right.
Saturday mornings, the way they do for track and field and so on.
Yeah.
I think it might just be a thing of persons not knowing.
Not knowing.
Right?
That's exactly what it is.
So maybe
Point.
boost the marketing and PR,
Yes.
you know,
and to
facilities.
get more information out there.
That's,
and I mean,
yes.
instances like this help to boost.
Right,
So,
right. Because I hope Carla is still listening. There are scholarships available.
Yeah.
So we can definitely tap into that. And like you said, especially for young black women. So,
and you said it right. The problem is, over the years, I don't think that we market ourselves and the game enough.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Is money an issue in that sense? I mean, are your members all paid up? Is money the issue in terms of marketing, or is it just something?
No,
else?
I think it's just something, just the ball we dropped. You know, I think we was comfortable in winning these tournaments around the Caribbean and winning, and you know, until the ball dropped. And after the ball dropped, we didn't pick it up.
well, you mentioned something earlier where you said the tourism minister, you know, told you guys you should get. I think there's much to be said for sports tourism, right? You know, there's CPL, there's a bunch of football tournaments going on. I know we have very active members of the basketball and netball. We just had some netballers in here. So I think sports tourism is the way to go. And I'm happy to hear that she kind of tugged you guys and say, hey, let's get golf going as well. Yeah. Because a lot of persons underestimate the importance of sports. You know, it teaches you a discipline. Like I said,
God, yes.
Golf is patience, right?
Yes.
And more than any other sport that I've actually viewed. So I think that might be the way to go for you guys. You know, get it into the schools. Let persons understand what it really is. Because looking at it from the outside, you get all sorts of, you know,
misconception.
Yes.
Yes. That is definitely true. So that's why we're doing this spectator tent this year, is to get people more, get locals more into it.
So where will it be located? And
right at the golf shop there, in what people call the Marriott Golf, but it's the Royal Sinkets Golf Course. So right there, we're gonna put it right there in the 18th green, so you'll be able to see the players coming in and so forth. Okay. Let me say thanks to TDC group of companies, because we are celebrating our 40 years this year of the golf club, and TDC was always a part. So TDC will be putting that tent together thanks to Mr. Nick Menon.
Okay then.
So that's one of the drive we are doing this year.
Okay, Zeke.
40 years is a long time. I'm happy to hear that there's actually going to be a spectator tent, so you can just walk on, come on.
Yeah, it's going to be a first come, first service. We were going to do tickets, but no, we don't want to do that. We just want people to come, because if you don't get under the tent, you could always sit in the clubhouse or just stand around, anything like that. But we're going to put a beautiful atmosphere on this year.
And this is on the 27th?
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
This is on the 27th of...
it's the 27th and the 28th.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
27th, 28th.
Perfect.
Okay, I got a message for you, so I'll give you a number after you get off.
Okay.
Someone is interested in helping you out with the marketing and so on. So.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, look at how things happen.
Yeah.
So the things to remember are the 2 days tournament on the 27th to the 28th, but there's an opening on the 26th.
On the 26th, yeah.
And then
that's the practice day and the opening ceremony.
Okay.
That's the day they practice. Most of the overseas players going to come in the Thursday and also on that day. So we practice that day, have the opening ceremony, and then the 28th and the 27th and 28th is the tournament.
Okay. And for persons who would want to get in contact with you or anything else of that nature, how do they do that?
My number is 665-7463, but I will prefer to give them the secretary number.
Right. And do you guys have like a membership form? Is there a social media arm?
Yes. Let me just...
So it's on social, and there's a website. How do
There's the Royal Sinkets Golf Club.
Okay.
There's a website, the Royal Sinkets Golf Club. You could always go into and get all the information needed.
Perfect. So guys, if you're interested,
yes, they could call 662-7565. That is Dexter Hazel. That is our secretary of the golf club.
okay, perfect.
Right, so
And-
662-7565.
Great. And if you want to join, you can visit the website of the Royal St. Kitts
Yes.
Golf Club.
Yes.
You can get all the details there. Remember, guys, it is free if you're 25 and under, and you can go there daily between 7 to 4 and practice your swing.
That's right. That's right. As a matter of fact, just yesterday I had a new golfer in Stuart Laplace.
Oh, wow.
He came yesterday for the first time and loved it. Because let me say this, golf is an addicted sport. So if you're coming into golf, you know that it takes time, but it's addicted.
Wow. Wow. What age did you start playing golf at?
I was 14.
14.
14.
But why golf? So I'm an outsider. I don't know anything about golf. Why golf? What would make me want to?
You hit on one there earlier about the discipline of it. Other than a beautiful sport, the discipline, the way it makes you think, it's golf. I want to say it's a good rehab for an individual. You could tell a good character of somebody playing golf.
Wow.
Just the way they behave, you could tell this person have a good character or not. I think so. I like to say it's a rehab. You could be having a terrible day, and you go and you play golf, and it just smooth you out.
I definitely might have to try this.
Yes,
this
I'm
is
inviting you.
interesting.
Let me ask a question. I know there's always, is it true that I always hear people say, I always hear the rich people say, and the palm-colored people say that golf, they get a lot of business done during golf.
Oh, yeah.
So is that true?
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of networking and so on?
That's the only sport that you could play, really. Well, Jaff and chess maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? You could sit down and talk with your partner. You couldn't do it in football or cricket. Nor tennis because you're on different end. But golf, there's a lot of good deals happening with golf. A lot of, a matter of fact, a lot of ex-cricketers are playing golf. A lot of politicians are playing golf. Lots.
No, I'm definitely
Because
going
they
to have
could
to
sit,
test this out.
Yeah, they could sit in the cart and talk to an investor or whoever they're playing with and so forth. So a lot of them are playing golf. I'm trying to encourage our Prime Minister to start.
Okay.
You know.
Well, let's see how that one goes.
Yeah.
I have a question. So it always has to be 9 holes? Because I know you said the one that they had at Golden Rock.
That was smaller,
the-
actually.
Yeah, but no, I was the one, it's 18 holes. It's an 18-hole championship.
All right, then.
Yeah, it's 18 holes.
I feel like I know that when you start, and let's say that there's a point where you stop, you can go back and pick up from where you left off.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what's appealing to cricketers, because I am reminded of Test cricket when I hear of that.
That's
but
right.
I still have like so many questions about golf, like the par and the birdie and all those fancy words there. So I'm definitely gonna have to come and take a lesson.
Yes, you should. You should. It's a wonderful sport. It's a
Someone
wonderful
says
sport.
it humbles you. Someone on the chat said it
Yes,
humbles you.
that's right.
It definitely
That's why I
will,
say it's
because
a-
if you miss that hole.
Yeah, that's why I say it's a rehab. It can rehab you, really. I know of a good friend who used to caddy. I came up as a caddy, and we all used to caddy, and then they went off on that bumpy road. And his rehab was coming back to golf.
Oh.
And he's back into golf now, and he made the St. Kitts team. What, last year, 2 years ago? So that was his rehab. And he always said to me, Zeke, I will never stop playing golf again.
Wow.
So I see golf as that, as a
Okay,
rehab.
then.
Okay.
I think this has been a pretty interesting interview.
It
So
has.
I will definitely be visiting the golf course just to see, put your claims to the test.
I hope so.
So you need to set up that wine. What's it called?
That's wine
Nine
and
and wine.
9 wine and dine.
9 wine and
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, nine wine and dine.
Nine
okay.
wine and dine.
Nine wine and dine.
I'm
Okay.
even more happy that Carla called
So
in and
food,
reminded you now.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I think it's a good thing. I think, like I noted it, so I'm gonna chop it down and then get our committee. We have a good
so this is the Mr. Fleming that was supposed to join us. Good morning, Darion.
Yeah.
He says, I'm there, but I'm not there. Golf is the most beautifully challenging game anyone can ever play. And I did see him making comments on Facebook because we're also schoolmates about golf. So it seems as though a lot of my schoolmates are into golf.
What's up, Mr. Nutra? That's an inside joke.
Oh, Lord.
He know that.
Yeah. So we're inviting the general public out on the 27th to the 28th for the Johnny Walker Sink It's Open. Come on over. It's going to be a beautiful atmosphere. We're really looking forward. I am excited about it, honestly. It's something that I always wanted to introduce. I'm very excited about getting a lot more locals coming over because I know where I came from. I know how hard it was for me to get into the game. So if I could get up tomorrow morning and see 200 locals playing golf, I'll be the happiest man in the world. I want to see more locals playing. I want to see us more taking advantage of what we got in St. Kitts Nevis.
Let me ask you a question before you go. I remember someone started a mini golf place up there on Wellington Road. Is that something was it that before its time, or is that something that can still be used to generate interest?
It could,
And
it could, if they had done it right,
Mm-hmm.
it could. And that's one thing that we want to do at the golf course.
That's why I asked. That was my next question.
We're pushing for it, so we could be there in the night time and push the game. We need to, like I said, we need to change our strategy when it comes to the golf to get more people into it. And one thing about golf, there's no sport brings more visitors to the island than golf. Just think of it. None. All the hotels, I'll tell you for instance, we used to, back in the 80s, 90s, mostly all at the Jack Tower and the small hotels, they all had golf packages where if you stay there, you play golf for free. They used to be always full. If a hotel going to build in St. Kitts, one of the things they will ask you if there's a golf course.
Yes.
If somebody going to build a house, even if they don't play golf, and you say to them, there is a golf course.
It's like a nice to know attraction.
Yes, it is. It is. And that's why we need to get more. We as the executive at the Royal St. Kitts Golf Club has to push it more to the government level and so forth for golf. Because there's no sport. CPL, no football, no sport brings more people to the island than golf.
You're not wrong.
No sport.
Yeah.
I'm definitely curious now. So I think you have 2 persons that are at least going to be visiting you soon.
I hope so. I hope so even before they open, but I hope that you guys will be there.
Yes, and get the 9 wine and dine thing going.
Yes, we will.
Thank
We
you.
will.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Definitely. See you soon.
Zeke Percival, 936, talking about golf in St. Kitts. So keep your ears peeled for golf to explode. Right, Zeke?
That's
okay.
right.
We're counting on you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WIN FM.
Hey kids, drink healthy.
Reduce sugar chubby with the same great taste. Lots of magic fruity flavors, drink the more healthy way.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Be active, be healthy, drink lots of chubby. Kicking football, playing cricket, having fun in the sun.
It's chubby.
Reduce sugar chubby
It's 9:39. Man, our phones are going crazy. You want to take some? Let's go straight to the phones. Okay, caller, go right ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Island team.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Hello, that laughter.
It's very nice to hear from you.
Yeah, with the bush, with the exception of ice stock. You don't know, it look like ice stock get hooked, but anyhow, we're going to unhook you.
Exactly.
Prepare a cup of herb for you. When we say, I mean ganja, bushy.
And he has it, because he brought me moringa. So I wonder why he brought me moringa last week, so I don't even know why he's so hooked on coffee.
No, it may be coming, maybe genetic.
But I drink moringa too.
I don't know. I'm going with the caller.
But I'm a Rasta man, so in the bush good for him. All right. Give thanks to all the sharing so far, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
We like that poll onto two letters.
Mm-hmm.
Onto two letters. A B and a S. Is the law do the poll?
He did. That's what we were saying earlier. Like, who commissioned it? Who paid him, and why?
I wasn't part of it. You was part of the. You're from another plantation land, but you also know. Ask I stand the other brethren if they was part of the poll. I wasn't part of the poll.
No one was part of it. No one here was part of it. So we're still trying to figure out who he interviewed.
Okay, but I hope we get some callers and said they must part of it. But you see, with the bossy mental slavery we are going on us, we're not surprised over certain things if certain things come out, but we just want to know, And listen, Republic. Whatever the pussyfooting and whatever, we gonna move on, and we gonna move on. If we have to move on from Republic, we gonna move on too, because the nation have to heal. We have suffered enough, much too long. That's why we keep saying the struggle for end. Yeah. We hear some sound say, okay, we get eat up by the big fish them in the pond. But remember, we are part of a bigger fish than them fish there.
True. But you're right. You got to start somewhere, right?
Yes,
so you
course.
can't keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. So other persons have done the whole Republic walk, and I think that's what we were alluding to. There's Barbados, there's Dominica, there is Trinidad, there's Guyana. They've all become Republic, and they still get benefits from being part of Commonwealth. So what would stay in there give us? I think that was the question I was asking. What are the privileges of still being a part of the whole monarchy? What are the privileges?
We need the answers.
Right.
But we hear in the whole heap of buts and buts. If them eat, as I said before, if them try to eat up the bigger fish, we must always remember our roots. That our root is bigger fish than them fish. Our root is the original. You understand? So it's just a matter of time. It's just a unison. Near and far to take us to where we want to go, where we should go as a people within the scheme of things. Every race move on and do them thing, We are part of the human race, of course. Yes. But at the same time, it's important to Marcus Garvey implored us, race first, and it is very important to observe that, We see the participation up to the time, St. Kitts Nevis, up to the time in the upcoming coronation, and we look upon it and we are pleased, and we are pleased even though we are speculating in going into to that Republic status, we are everything that is taking place within the scheme of things. And that coronation full up we head towards our own coronation as a race in 1930, when we saw the coronation of His and Her Imperial Majesty as Emperor and Empress. The very first time an Empress was crowned with Emperor, with the Emperor, and Britain was there. They got the invitation and they attended. So it's all part and parcel of royalties. And within the scheme of things, we have to remember that we too have our royalties. And if when the research is done, we will realize that royalty really started with us, you know.
All right then.
Yes, indeed. Yes, I'm glad to hear you. I'm glad to hear you say that, beloved, because it is the truth. It's just the naked truth. Royalty starts with us. We don't hold no grudge against no one who claims to be royal also, but it is very important that we stay in our lane. We stay in our lane. Stay in our lane as a race of people. Blessed love, give thanks to the sharing.
Yes, man.
Blessed love.
Take it.
Yes, the elder on point as usual. So I think...
so that's one more person that was not polled.
Yes, one more person that was not polled. Yes.
I think Azard was saying, or was it you, that it might have been done online?
Yeah, but how does that work though? I never saw anything. I mean, yes, who do you send it to? And imagine someone like me who is like a voracious reader, reading news all over the place and whatever.
But I'm on almost every social media, and I've
never seen that. So
yeah.
who are the people they're polling? I mean, what's
interesting?
I'd like to know what the demographic is, especially the demographics in terms of what age group said what.
The bigger question is why at this point in time?
Yeah.
Because it's leading up to his coronation. So what is he trying to do? Get a feel for what it's like, what people in this hemisphere are saying. So many questions.
Exactly. It's kind of questionable to me. I was like, why do we need to know this now? Oh, and we do have to mention the fact that the GGD was appointed yesterday.
Oh, yes,
the Governor General's
true.
deputy.
I did see that.
Yes, Walford Gumbs, because
he had a previous role in government, because
he was a speaker before.
Speaker of the House, yes.
And he was also the first ombudsman.
Oh, all right then. Because when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I know this name, and I'm trying to rack my memory.
Walford
like,
Gumbs, yeah.
All right
and
then. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations to
great.
Walford Gumbs.
And we needed one because, of course, our Gigi left. She's traveling to go to the coronation as well.
He's an in-law family member of mine, actually.
Ah.
He's married to my aunt. So we kind of...
We're going to have to talk about if there are any perks.
Perks? Not really, you know.
I'm teasing you.
No. But
congratulations.
Yeah.
There's so many things that are happening all at the same time that it's kind of hard to keep track. I mean, as we were online talking about the violence... someone reminded me that there was a shooting last night in Nevis.
In Nevis, yeah. I didn't even know that until Trent mentioned it.
Right. I got some pictures late last night, but it was totally...
Oh, you got pictures too?
Yeah, I was engrossed.
Wow.
So, yes, I really couldn't remember it or even check the article out. But condolences to the family. I guess the story is still developing, so we're going to find out what it is. But it seems as though it was a young person.
A
young male.
Yeah. So. This Lord Ashcroft.
It's really bothering you, huh?
I actually thought this was someone connected with the Privy Council or something. It sounded like one of those, those people on the Privy Council. They always tend to have those
Earls and lords.
Yeah, those kind of.
When you're addressing
those patrician-sounding names, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
you Googled the person?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I was so
okay.
surprised. You actually said when you said, and then I realized at the bottom of the article.
Yes, there's like a whole description at the bottom there, even stuff that he published.
Yes.
And I kind of raised my eyebrow at the one with Rishi Sunak, because I can only imagine.
Rishi Sunak? What?
Yes, the current Prime Minister of the
Yeah,
UK.
I know, but what did they say about him?
He did something... He did a book about him, if you read the very bottom of the article. And so I'm intrigued, because I know that a lot of persons were not in favor because of, as you know, he's of Indian descent, and he is now Prime Minister of the UK. So there was a lot of, I guess, controversy surrounding him getting that position.
Yeah. Let's see if he survives an election, because an election will tell all, right?
Mm-hmm.
An actual election. And you know what I don't know, it could be just coincidence, but you notice there's a whole bunch of East Indians putting themselves up for presidencies and prime ministerships now. There are two on the Republican side in the U.S.
Right. That's one of them that got.
I wouldn't say that. I don't think.
That
I think.
interview?
I think that is straw that brought the camels back, because
Yeah, he
Don
was
was on
kinda-
point. Don was on point with that, because that guy was white-splaining basically.
But the thing is,
White-splaining blackness to a
when
black
you say
man.
the
I
straw
mean, come
that
on.
broke the camel's back, you mean with Don's firing?
Yeah, I don't think that was this thing that really got them. I think it was just. A bunch of things.
Yeah, he's kind of been spiraling.
And that was the straw that, like, okay, Don, you're right this time, but come on, we can't take any more. I think.
Especially if this is one of the persons that's paying our
What?
sponsoring or paying our the
Yeah.
guy, the Indian guy.
Yeah, yeah.
So
and then there's the Indian woman who then went on. I mean, the thing that probably really accelerated his firing is what he said about a woman is over her prime, in reference to Nikki Haley, the other Indian American in the.
she's Indian?
Yeah.
I thought she was a white
Yes.
woman.
Nimrata is her name.
Nikki Haley?
Yeah, Nimrata. Nikki
wow.
Haley. Yeah. Uh-huh.
But
Nikki
she
is a,
but I also have an issue with Nikki
Mhm.
because I'm as a woman, and we have so many things hurled at us, you
Yeah.
know, race, your age, your looks, the way you dress, the way you conduct yourself in public. I felt like she was kind of also lashing out. She spoke about
Trump, about Biden.
Biden
Yeah.
and his age, and I was like,
Yeah.
that is ageist. Like, why are you doing
Yes,
that?
and then a few weeks ago you were outraged at what Don said. You know. Call or go right ahead.
It's never ending.
Good morning, greetings.
Hi,
How
good
you morning,
morning.
guys?
Hey,
Hey,
what's
good
up?
morning. How are you?
I'm thankful for life. Blessed joy to the powers of the Almighty creation and His Creator. I give thanks for what I have here. You are talking about a survey. I just get a little piece of your program because you are and you are going to close off soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you are talking about a survey done within the aspect of St. and Nevis becoming a republic.
Yes, yes. There's a polling done by Lord Ashcroft talking about the monarchy, like with the countries that want to do away with the monarchy. So it says Lord Ashcroft polls, new coronation poll finds lead for republic in Antigua, Bahamas, and Jamaica. Other Caribbean nations would stay with the crown, and St. Kitts is listed as one of them that said they wanted to stay with the crown. So we were
Well,
wondering.
you just want to stay with that gangster crowd.
Well, we were trying to figure out who they interviewed that gave them this response, because it seems as though everyone that we've spoken to were not part of the poll. So, interesting.
Anyway, it's a good issue you all have on the table they're discussing, and I think we need more dialogue to see how people can go forward, because the crown ain't ready yet, neither, number one. Never been ready, and it will never ready. It's when you all have done wrong to the world, you could never ready. But let me have this strong of the republic. Now look at Trinidad, Cuba, who are our regional counterparts in the aspect of republic. You see how they look and how they're done to their people. The people ain't rise yet. Cuba, who have the field work within medicine, and this aspect, they still ain't rise the people.
Right.
But they have riches in there and resources around. So if you have these things there, why is it that you're holding them to keep your people them at there? Is there such a chokers those who are in developing countries consider themselves as leaders, and they don't know how to move to grow the people them in development. Up to this day, we have so much people coming from UE who are UE graduates, and what at our development going. They are still under the economical ladder, as people who strive, work hard, and penetrate the industry, but we still have development in our hands as a part of the industry. So where are we going into? Because I don't trust neither republic, nor even monarchy, or these youngsters from England bring down on the people. Because if thieves are robbers, rapists, and then they come into us as feeling like they are here to safeguard us in legislation of laws and policies, which in England and New governing monarchy within itself considering as I said, they give us a constitution, but they have none for their own self. So we people really got to wake up and understand. Born ready with the monarchy and born ready where you call republic, we come as liberation. Because our people have to be wise and common with our life, how we're going forward. Give thanks.
Thanks. You know, one of the things that he said that I definitely agree with, that there's more to be said on it. We definitely need more conversation on it, and that we need to be educated. You have another call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, man. I just wanted to make a notation real quick, following up that caller who was just talking about the monarchy and republic. For me, I don't. You know, we have 3 officials from St. Kitts and Nevis that has gone off to the coronation of the king, and you know, we who's thinking about republic and all this type of stuff, you know, we still following the hierarchy and giving this royal family mad respect, despite, you know, the rough and bad treatment that we got from them. You know, we have 3 officials that have gone off to the king coronation. You know, that coronation should have been boycotted. That's my brief input, man, because I know you guys got to get off in a short minute. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
I just
for your
wanted to
call.
read something here that's in the second article.
One second, Jamster. You know, there's much to be said about the 3 officials that have gone. But for the meantime, while we're still a part of it, we're part of Commonwealth, and because of diplomacy, and because there's a saying that I grew up, my grandmother saying, when your hand in tiger mouth, take time to pull it out, right? Meaning that you have to follow along the path and follow the rules until you can do better. So at this point in time, we have not broken away. We're not a republic. And you see, even the Republican countries, the countries that have become republics, they still, you know, toe the line and follow along, because for diplomacy's sake, for the sake of when you need help, like Max said earlier. So I think the boycott might have been a little bit too much, because you still need to keep those diplomatic ties and all those treaties and international, you know, things in place. But if and even becoming a republic, it still doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily boycott or not even work with them. So I think a lot of more thought and education and public, I guess, referendums or conversations need to be held before we take such a step.
I think for some more context, I should read this. Aside from Antigua, the Bahamas and Jamaica, whose majorities voted
according to the poll
for being with republic, becoming republics, the polling found that voters in Australia, Canada, and the Solomon Islands would vote to become republics if a referendum were held tomorrow. And in addition, in 7 of the 8 countries, most said the monarchy made them feel more rather than less warm towards the UK. People in the Bahamas were divided 50-50. Clear majorities in all said that if their country became a republic, they would want to remain part of the Commonwealth. And this one, majorities in all 8 countries polled in the region had a positive view of King Charles, except the Bahamas, where it was 38%. Wow. Let's go back to the phone.
I'm glad you said Australia and the other countries.
But let's take this call.
Hello,
Caller, go right ahead. Island T.
Okay, me here again. We hear the sound about the boycott, and we agree with you, my sister. Diplomacy within the scheme of things is very vital. You know, may I tell you. But you know,
tell us.
Situation. You know, whatever, however the struggle go, we are confident in the final victory of good over evil as a people, you know.
The scripture says the first shall be last and the last shall be first, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yes,
we are
and
confident.
The truth is...
We just watch the civilian and see how it go. And it's important that as we watch it, you know, to be too judgmental and family one another, because you see this trauma, what the hundreds of years leave us in, it's not a pretty trauma, you know. And the trauma is on, as we said, the trauma is on all of it, all the classes, the upper, the middle, the lower. And trauma is trauma. So we got to realize, okay, yeah, the flexing is all part of the trauma. Whether the flexing come from somebody who sweep the street, the flexing come from somebody who in a high office, you know. I just said we just have to just understand within the scheme of things what to go on, but at the same time strive towards things getting as it ought to be, you know, as a people. We have a story, we have a different story. We was taken away. We those who was taken away and dispersed here and there. Human cargo and the other atrocities unimaginable that goes along with it. So we have to know how we are charged within the scheme of things. See, we still in these plantations land here, and we see how we are going with the continent, what we was taken away from. Even this one cleaning up to that in Rastafari, it have a saying, say, Africa with its creators. Because we can see what is going on in the continent that we was taken from, you know, so much so that people who will say, I am not African, I am a Kititian or Nivijan or whatever, Jamaican one, they always point the finger to that. You know, see what I go on, especially with this thing that take place in Kenya recently, you know. No, we got white people, we do them same thing there, you know. But it's just something, the trauma, that's all part of the trauma. We have got this self-inflicting, self-hatred. We got to try more from that as much as possible, as we strive to heal, you know. Yes, them leave us in the hour strike, them leave us in the Westminster style politics thing. All that we have to go to them hurdle and know how to maneuver. And as you said, Mrs. Chin, diplomacy is very important within the scheme of things.
Okay.
Blessed love.
Yes, and on that note,
have a good one today.
Yeah. Well, one thing we're probably going to have to deal with tomorrow because we're out of time. Not my king. UK Republicans want coronation to be the last. So we're going to have to discuss that because here it is. Many of us are saying we want to remain with, well, according to the poll, St. Kitts Nevis wants to remain a part of the monarchy. And people in Britain, Australia, Solomon Islands, Bahamas, Canada want to become a republic if a referendum was held tomorrow.
Well, look at that.
So,
Interesting.
Interesting, yeah, very.
Had an interesting morning, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say.
Thank you so much for joining us on Island Tea today. And we look forward to being here with you tomorrow. Have an awesome day, guys.
And you have an awesome day. We have Spin Cycle, the Power Hour coming up next.
Definitely tune in.
Yeah, great music. Okay. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
We're different. We're 98.9.